Let's be honest. Most people are too afraid to tell you directly that they don't like you. Instead, they hide behind fake smiles, hollow compliments, and forced politeness. I've been in that situation myself, thinking someone was a friend, only to discover they were secretly wishing for my downfall. It's a harsh reality, but it's crucial to recognize the signs of true disdain. If you don't pay attention, you might find yourself wasting your precious time and energy on people who simply cannot understand or appreciate you. So, let's cut through the nonsense and discuss the unmistakable signs that someone dislikes you, yet keeps it hidden from view. You may not want to hear this, but facing the truth is far better than choosing to live in denial. One telltale sign is when someone constantly jokes about your flaws. We all know that one person who seems to find joy in making jokes at your expense. They pick at your quirks and mistakes, all while hiding behind a facade of humor. At first, this may appear harmless, but these so-called jokes are often calculated digs designed to chip away at your self-esteem. I recall being close to someone who seemed to take pleasure in critiquing everything about me, from my outfit choices to my speech. Initially, I brushed it off as harmless fun, but as time passed, I began to notice a pattern. Their jokes were never about my strengths. They always targeted my perceived weaknesses. This behavior is more than just playful banter. It's a method of manipulation aimed at asserting dominance over you. Here's the hard truth. True friends uplift you rather than make you the punchline for their jokes. Have you ever received a compliment that felt more like an insult? That's the hallmark of a backhanded compliment, where the intended praise leaves you feeling more confused than uplifted. I remember when I shared a project I was proud of, only to hear someone say, "Wow, this is actually pretty good for someone like you." While it superficially sounded like praise, the part, "for someone like you," hit hard. What were they implying? These veiled compliments are often rooted in insecurity from the person giving them. They highlight their feelings of superiority while subtly undermining your confidence. It's a power play, and you don't have to accept it. Instead, challenge these comments by calling them out. "Thanks, but what do you mean by that?" You'll find that confronting this behavior can shift the dynamic in your favor, instilling confidence rather than doubt. Another red flag is subtle exclusion from group plans. It's often the small, stinging moments that hurt the most, like discovering you weren't invited to a gathering that your friends enjoyed. The common excuse is, "It was last minute," or "We thought you were busy." But let's call it what it is: social exclusion. I've felt the sting of this firsthand, seeing friends' photos of a fun outing without a word of invitation coming my way. The truth is, if they genuinely wanted you there, they would have ensured you were included. This kind of behavior isn't merely thoughtless, it's a clear signal that your presence isn't valued. By brushing off these moments, you give them permission to continue excluding you. It took me time, but I started to call them out on their behavior, asking why I had been left out. It wasn't easy, but it opened the door to necessary conversations and changed how I was treated. Remember, you deserve friends who prioritize you, not those who keep you on the sidelines. Have you noticed someone who seems perpetually busy when it comes to you? We've all heard the excuse, "I'm too busy." It's an easy way to brush someone off, but patterns emerge when they're always available for everyone else, just not you. I've experienced this frustration firsthand. Every time I reached out, my friend had a reason for not meeting up, while they seemed to find time for others. The message? You're simply not a priority. It's a hard truth to confront, but busy is often just a polite way of saying, "I choose not to invest any time in you." This passive-aggressive approach keeps you at a distance, while they maintain the illusion of friendship. Your time is valuable. You deserve relationships where you're genuinely wanted, not an afterthought. When I learned to recognize this, I had difficult conversations that led me to let go of relationships that didn't serve me. Let's discuss the uncomfortable topic of physical contact, or the lack thereof. When someone consistently avoids even basic touch, it sends a clear message: they're uncomfortable around you. I once had a colleague who recoiled at every attempt for a handshake or friendly interaction. At first, I thought it was just their personality, but soon I realized it was a deliberate choice to maintain distance. When someone avoids physical contact, they're signaling they don't want to connect. While some people may just not be touchy, selective avoidance is a major red flag. It suggests an underlying issue in your relationship. I learned to pay attention to these clues, leading to tough but necessary conversations about our connection. Remember, you deserve relationships that feel naturally warm and inviting, where physical contact isn't something to be feared but embraced. Nothing tests a friendship like a crisis. When the chips are down, you'll quickly discover who your real friends are. So, what does it signify when someone disappears just when you need them the most? It's more than simple flakiness. It's a glaring indication of their lack of investment in your relationship. I've had moments where I reached out during tough times, only to be met with silence or excuses. It's a painful realization that those who once seemed supportive are nowhere to be found when it truly matters. True friends are present during hardships, offering support, even when it's uncomfortable. If someone vanishes when you're struggling, they're communicating that your challenges aren't worth their time. Use this experience as a filter. The friends who remain by your side during difficult times are the ones you should cherish. Life's too short to waste on fair-weather friends. Finally, let's address the toxic nature of gossip. It's a destructive force that can sever relationships in an instant. When someone talks behind your back, they're not just sharing gossip, they're actively undermining your trust and reputation. I once confided in someone I thought was a close friend, only to discover that my personal struggles had become entertainment for others. Gossip is rarely innocent. It's a power play used to elevate oneself while putting you down. People who engage in gossip are showing their true colors. They're not just betraying your trust, they're revealing their own insecurities and need for validation. It's crucial to recognize that those who gossip about others will inevitably gossip about you too. When I confronted a friend about their gossip, I expected an apology, but instead, they brushed it off, showcasing their lack of respect. Remember, it's essential to cultivate relationships built on trust and respect, where gossip has no place.